Hi, my name is Mary Ann, and I'd like to introduce you to Tyra, my greyhound. Back in 2007, I think it was the fall of 2007, we were thinking about possibly getting a second greyhound. We were looking around at some websites, and I've become familiar with greyhound rescue organizations because we have had two other greyhounds. One we actually still had in the home. So we drove out to a greyhound rescue place in Middleborough. And we had seen some of their dogs online, and they look they say greyhounds are like potato chips, you can't have just one. So we drove out to Middleborough, and we started looking at all these beautiful, beautiful, young, recently retired race dogs. And the rescue the woman who owned the kennel was pushing this one dog who they called Ty. We have now renamed her more femininely to Tyra, after Tyra Banks, because she's black and beautiful. And she was pushing this dog. So she told us that Ty was older and had some health issues, so was much less likely to be adopted. So we got a little bit of Ty's history, which she had been with a young couple who lived in a very small condominium in the city, and there was no outdoor time, and she was alone for 10 or 12 hours at a span. So the couple very appropriately realized that it wasn't a good environment for, a 70-pound aging greyhound, so they brought her back to the rescue organization. So we took a good look at her, and she certainly wasn't the best looking of the bunch. And something in her just told us that she needed a home. So the next thing we know, she's in our car and on the way home. One thing that Tyra does is she chatters. Her teeth chatter. Much like you would expect of somebody shivering, and it's really, really loud. So we thought she was always cold. So we'd put her coat on, we'd wrap her up in a blanket, and then I Googled it and found out that it can be equated with other things like nervousness or excitement. They said it could possibly be related to some health issues, which the vet has given her the okay, clear, all good. So it's really pretty unusual when all of a sudden from the other room you hear this intense teeth chattering, and you know that it's Tyra. And I really think it's excitement. Tyra is what I would call a very low-key dog. We laugh about her, and we call her kind of the go-along to get along. She doesn't have a lot of original ideas. She kind of follows her sister Grace, our other greyhound. And if Grace thinks it's a good idea to go out, Tyra just kind of lumps behind her and will follow along. So she's our go-along to get along. She does sit, which she's the only greyhound we've had that does sit. We've had now 3, and none of them sit, but she will sit on command. So that is her official trick, and we're quite proud of it. Tyra has a little bit of a stubborn streak. When we take the dogs walking, they're older dogs. Tyra's pushing, I believe she's pushing 13. So we don't go on long walks, but if we get, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of a mile away from the house, she decides she's had enough. She stops walking. Just stops in the middle of the street, will not move. So I always bring my cell phone with me, and my husband has come, gets in the car, even if we're just, 15 houses away, get in the car, drive down to where I am, pick her up, and put her in the car and drive her home. We call it civil disobedience. She just stops dead in her tracks and will not continue. So taking her for a walk sometimes is a little bit of a challenge. All in all, I think Tyra has been a terrific addition to our family. It was a huge decision, as I mentioned, going from one dog to two. And I really think they're nice company for each other as well. And I really, if anybody is on the fence about whether or not they can handle a second dog or they think it would be a good addition, my recommendation would be go for it. It's kind of like a potato chip. You can't have just one. We're thrilled that we've had her, and she's certainly been a great addition to our family.